Major League Gaming, or MLG, started in 2002 and focused mainly on first-person shooters or fighting games. During the StarCraft II beta, MLG ran a King of the Beta showmatch series, giving indication that they would be picking up the game for the regular circuit. The showmatch series featured players like Idra, Artosis, QXC, TLO, Huck, Jinro, and more. When they officially added StarCraft II to the circuit, it was halfway through the year, but they set it up for 3 events in 2010, which included stops at Raleigh, DC, and Dallas. Raleigh was originally planned to be a 32-player event, but was doubled to 64 players with how popular StarCraft II was and the building competitive scene post-beta. After 8 rounds of loser bracket battles, Last Shadow and Zake advance into the loser finals. That places our top 4 players as Huck, Kiwikaki, Last Shadow, and Zake, all to battle it out for champion of Raleigh. The event was a double elimination event. After 5 rounds in the winner bracket, 2 players faced each other in the winner's final. Kiwikaki from Root and Huck from Millennium.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grand final of the Major League Gaming 2010 Pro League Circuit in Raleigh, North Carolina, grand finals of the StarCraft II tournament. Huck against Kiwikaki, some more PvP action, and it's all Canada all the time.
Indeed, this is what a surprise here to see. First, 2 Protoss players.
Yeah.
2 Canadian players, I'm not saying.
Not that that's surprising.
Indeed, but Canada, I mean.
2 of them, both of them, and Protosses, and you know, everyone's always talking about how Terran seems to be overpowered. I mean, recently there was even a tournament where in the top 8, no Protosses, and there were nothing but Terran versus Zergs, but here, we're gonna have some huge PvP action. It's gonna be a big clash of styles.
Yeah, and really, if you look at the 2 players, I mean, Kiwikaki, in the winners the entire time, lost to Huck in the winter finals, and now he's up against Huck again.
He's back in the finals.
He's back in the finals. I mean, what a showing really from Kiwikaki coming in. I mean, a lot of people probably didn't expect him to go this far. But if you've actually watched him online, you definitely know how good of a player he is. And if you didn't, you know how good of a player he is now after watching him this weekend.
Kiwikaki is going to have a little bit of a window because these 4 gateways were finished long before his opponents. And oh yes, indeed, Kiwikaki loves having more aggressive opportunities, killing off these back-destructible rocks. Huck does have a pylon here. I don't know if he sees going to the Huck cam. He would have to be actively looking down there as there's nothing on the minimap. But yes, there's a sentry getting warped in, wants to be able to throw down force fields if at all necessary. But oh, never leave your front ramp abandoned. That is so dangerous. What makes this map so difficult is this destructible rock in the back, but people tend to forget about their front door.
Yeah, this is one of those maps where if the aggressor is taking down those destructible rocks, he can easily pop back over into that natural expansion and go up that ramp, and then just pop back right into your main. So you definitely have to be careful. Huck keeping his stalkers in the front to get the attack before the units can actually go up the ramp, because remember, in StarCraft II, high ground does have the advantage.
Yeah, and I do want to note that neither player is making probes at this point. Kiwikaki now moving up, able to snipe down one of those stalkers, and oh, getting trapped. Oh, this is going to be a stalker massacre. Huck morphing in more units. This is a terrible position for Kiwikaki to be in, and another force field gets thrown down. Kiwikaki's food has plummeted with that in play, and that is why it is dangerous to get stalkers in tight places.
Indeed, Kiwikaki was a little bit flustered right there. He went ahead and actually attacking one of his stalkers with all of his own. Didn't actually kill it, but definitely showing the fact that that was not a nice force field to be on the opposite end of. And Huck is actually going for a nice counterattack here. Is he going to start taking out these rocks of his opponent? Yes, he is.
He is annihilating these destructible rocks so quickly, and this is going to be almost impossible for Kiwikaki to hold off.
And while all this is going on, Huck has gone ahead and thrown down a robotics facility, and here comes Huck pushing into the main of Kiwikaki. Kiwikaki's definitely going to be in a tough spot right now, even pulling probes for this
pulling
fight.
Probes off. Now it looks like Kiwikaki has a slightly bigger base army mix, but look at those force fields doing so much damage, and Huck has an insanely high zealot count. All the zealots of Kiwikaki are just evaporating, and Kiwikaki is slowly falling behind on the stalker count as well. Huck pushing in to do, it looks like the final blow. Huck currently up 3-2, could take the championship with this push right here, killing off all the stalkers, no matter how much micro you have.
And GG.
Not going to be enough.
first impressions. First impressions. Go. How do you feel?
Great.
Just great, not ecstatic. Like look at these fans behind you, man.
I'm trying to be Asian, you know, pro gamer status.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Just quiet,
face,
played down. Yeah, all these
it's a
people.
normal thing, right?
All these people were cheering their asses off for you.
The Phoenix?
Yeah,
Credit
dude.
to Noni?
Did you hear the clapping?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I put it to Noni after.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he taught me it, so.
That's true. Noni is a Phoenix mastermind. All right, so I mean,
you're the first one, and now.
Yeah, you just crushed everybody. Didn't drop a single series. How does that feel? I mean, who are some of the players you went through?
Suggy was really close.
Yeah.
QXC.
Yeah.
Who else? I don't know.
Coffin Luck?
Coffin Luck, that was really close.
You took out several Root guys in a row.
All the Root guys are so good, and they could have beat me. I think I was just played better today.
Yeah.
I think any other day could have gone either way. I mean, they're great. So.
What do you think about having 3 Protoss as the top 3?
It's good. I think American Protosses are well represented. I think European have to kind of step it up. I mean, Sock was here. He's a great Protoss, and he was one of them. So
yeah.
Shout out to Sock. Other than that, yeah, go interview Kiwi. Don't let him.
Go interview Kiwi. Kiwi said he didn't want to be interviewed unless he won.
Really?
Yeah. I'll probably get all of Root at one time later on.
They deserve it, man. They're by far the best North American team.
They had everybody get through day 1, and they brought 7 people. That's a lot.
Idra, who was considered one of the 3 best players in the world after the beta, chose to travel to Europe to play at IEM Cologne before returning to Korea to play in the first GSL event and skipped out on MLG Raleigh. With his absence from the first major North American event, it was Root Gaming Slush that was the highest placing Zerg player. He placed 10th through 16th. In addition to being the highest placing Zerg, 2 of his teammates made top 8, KiwiKaki and Coffin Luck, which showcased the power level of Root Gaming and positioned them as the North American team to beat going into MLG DC. The second stop on the MLG circuit was in DC and featured another 64 players battling it out. After qualifying for Season 2 of GSL, Idra makes the trip to the United States to compete at his first MLG. As the event progressed into the top 16, it looked to be a repeat of MLG Raleigh, with only 2 Zerg players making the top 16, Slush and Idra. Root continues to show its power on the NA circuit, with 3 members, Slush, Drewby, and KiwiKaki, making the top 8. Liquid manages to get 2 members into the top 8, with Tyler, aka Noni, and Huck, who recently signed with Liquid after leaving Millennium.
Could happen right there. It's something similar to like what we said when Select chose Delta Quadrant, and we were like, man, for the Protoss, that's actually a pretty decent map. And so, you know, I at this point in the game, you can't just assume that because P can do this, it is going to mean an automatic win. And similarly here, I think Huck's got to have some sort of plan, maybe even outside of his typical style of play.
We do see the cybernetics core going down in the back of Huck's main. No gas geyser has been built yet. And Select is going for the 2 barracks play. Might seem unusual because of how far away the ground positions are. But on this map, you have a very widespread open ramp. This center path with the destructible rocks, very easy to knock down and give you the fast path to your opponent's base. So having a lot of Marine Marauder is very, very strong.
A very important.
And look at Huck. Is that English? Not your though.
No, yeah. There was some chanting in the background. Yeah.
It sounds like the crowd wants a mothership. Select, a very quiet individual, even busting out the uncharacteristic LOL.
LOL. Also, there is this SCV that's chilling back here in the corner, and the Reaper is going to come into the play here. Only 1 probe going out, and there is somewhat of an army. There's a nice mix. It is a Sentry, a Zealot, and a Stalker. And as he is chatting away here, well, he's not going to do, Select's not going to do anything with that Reaper. I thought he might go in. He just kind of, did he even peek in and check to see if that Expo? Yes, okay, that's what he did. He just went in and peeked.
So it looks like the way Select is going to combat this is by knocking down the destructible rocks right away, gearing up for a very fast, very early push, and I do think that this might be exactly what Huck would like to have happen. Oh my goodness, a Stargate going down. Maybe he's listening to the crowd. Going to go out with a bang with a mothership, or he could just be opting to get the Void Rays up, as there is a little bit of an adjustment to the way that they deal damage in the most recent patch. Either way, it's interesting to note the way these two players are dealing with the tension and the pressure of the moment, with Select playing very focused, very calm, and very quickly, and Huck just trying to chat it up to calm himself down.
Yeah, absolutely, and the rocks are about ready to go down as well. Reaper actually completely avoiding this vision in the center that was taken over by Huck. Huck moved his Reaper out of position, and then moving up into the upper level of his expansion, manages to squeeze by, but will probably get taken out here. That Sentry did a majority of the damage, and the Sentry will. But again, it's all just a giant distraction at this point, and I have to check, is the vision still there?
It doesn't even matter if Fleet Beacon is going down, whether this is Mothership or Carrier. Oh, well, it looks like he's letting us know it's, in fact, a Carrier coming up. Select, though, probably has to feel a little bit of tension at this point in time. Select has knocked down that front gate, and oh my goodness, Huck might not even get the chance to have his attack start up, because in the Huck cam, he still thinks those destructible rocks are up.
Yeah, you know, you think you have so much vision when you're here at the Xel'Naga, but the one thing you got to remember is that you cannot see what is going on that very narrow strip that connects the two bases, and definitely is the shortest path between the two that's not air, and it is taken out. A scan comes up, and he's got to be like, wait a second, what is he scanning here for? And this Force is going to move forward. A Zealot and a Sentry are going to get cut off. They do manage to sneak in, but it's this expansion that he's got to worry about.
Huck extremely surprised to see this force of units march in, as he had control of the watchtowers, didn't know the rocks got taken down so quickly, and a Huck who seemed to think he had a lot of time to prepare, loses his Nexus. He has plenty of gateway units there trying to do as much damage as they can. He's going to wait for that stim to run out and then possibly poke up there to do a little bit of damage. Nothing done yet with that Stargate, and we see Huck in a terrible position. Never mind, he's making a mothership.
Yes, he is. He is giving what the crowd wants, and he is going to be able to stop this small force who did retreat in. A couple of Zealots will fall as a result, but the Stalkers will clean things up, and he will try to get this expansion going once again. I think this is like New Year's countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is. Boom!
There's the... and almost crashes the entire game. Crowd's going wild. Select has to be feeling very confused. And what's his energy at? Oh, and there's the scan. Select sees it and backs away.
Absolutely.
Huck is the first
right there.
StarCraft comic I have ever seen. There is no engineering bay anywhere. He's trying to save up scans. Huck moving in for the big push. Select will have 3 scans during this attack, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for Huck.
It's going to be very interesting to see what he's going to do as the big mothership just hovers over these units. He's going to go ahead and make his way in. First hits are put down on that bunker, and he is just going to be very careful that he doesn't lose his prized possession here.
And there's the stim. He's advancing forward, but this was not the best time for Select to try to advance forward. Gets cut off, and he is losing all the units for free, but the nice medevac pullback. I am just stunned. That did not go nearly as well as planned.
No, he's going to just say, well, if they're going to be lonely in the Vortex, they better be lonely together, and just send in the rest of his army. These 3 Stalkers are going to be very courteous and wait for it. The medevac did go in there, so he did manage to take it out. They're going to try to stim and take this stuff out. The scan does go down once again, but is it enough? Can he actually stop this? I don't think so.
He does actually not have that many Marines left. There's just 3 Marines. The Mothership actually does a lot of damage. I think everyone's surprised to see the amount of damage that the Mothership is outputting, and Huck having a good old backup army in his back pocket. The Mothership, awesome for direct pushes, but is not going to help in dealing with any of the drop antics that Select is well known for. And Select, meanwhile, getting Vikings, another command center, more barracks, and seeming prepared as ever to take game 2.
Select, from Team Dignitas, defeated Huck in the losers final and went on to face Idra from Evil Genius in the grand finals.
He beat to get to where he is right now. That is incredible.
It's absurd. It's absurd. I mean, the best contrast is to look up Idra on the brackets. Idra had a very straightforward path. he just won all the way to the finals, as people anticipated. So he ends up being the final boss of this tournament, defeated in the first round I Make Roaches, and then Last Shadow, and then Avilo, QXC, Kiwikaki, and finally Huck to get into the grand finals. But for the record, this is Select's 12th best of 3 going into the final. Look at him there, steely, cold, focused. The players he had to go through, starting in the loser's bracket. I'm not even going to pay attention to the winner's bracket. Select defeated LZ Gamer, TT1, QXC, Slush, Tyler, Kiwikaki, Huck, and now he's against Idra. He has enough games under his belt to be promoted to Diamond League just based upon his results in this tournament.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. Select definitely deserves to be in this final after taking out so many big names. And also big props to Huck. They're taking 3rd place here at MLG DC. I mean, that's no slouch, obviously. He's playing against the best players in North America. 3rd place, nothing to be ashamed of.
Absolutely. 3rd place, also nothing to be ashamed of when you are awesome and make a mothership and do the good old don't worry. It's Halo. We're clearly prepared for all the possible abuses that Select could perform on this map. That Medivac is rapidly approaching the front, and Idra still does not really have that much vision and needs to be careful. Losing that creep tumor. Big blunder.
Now, I wonder if Select actually saw the games that Idra played against QXE, because in those games, Idra heavily favored Muta play, and here comes the drop right now. They're going to be chasing away those Lings in the main for Hellions. There goes the Queen, going to work on the Medivacs. A nice surround on 2 of those Hellions. He tries to pick up all of them, and only gets 2. That Medivac might go down. There he goes, getting away. The Medivac a little bit slower in this new patch, but not slow enough for that Queen to actually kill it in this game. And he lands the Hellions again, possibly going for some more damage onto those Lings.
Oh, very nice. This is what sets players like Select apart from your average Terran crowd, continuing to put on as much pressure as he can. Look at the health on those Hellions, very low. In fact, everything nearby that Medivac is quite orange. We'll be able to escape in time. We do see the Thor is en route, several Marines coming out, Command Center going up, and yet another Medivac coming up as well. Meanwhile, in the main of Idra, that Spire is very close to completion.
Yeah, when he gets that Spire out, he will of course be making mutas and trying to do some damage into the main of Select, as he wants to try to make sure his opponent does not have as big as economy as he does, obviously. There goes the Destructible Rocks going down at the high yield mineral right there. Idra going to be trying to take his 3rd very soon. Looks like that dropship has completed. He might be going back to pick up this Thor. Nope, the one out of the starport is going to go ahead and pick up the Thor and go for maybe a drop onto this cliff, as he does know that that expansion is up. That Thor can of course hit a couple of drones as well as that extractor.
And here is the Octo drop. 8 Marines in that Medivac and a Thor in that Medivac. He's going to take the very careful roundabout position, but there is almost nothing in Select's main to defend. If Zerglings marched up there right now, they would win the game. Yet another Medivac coming out, and look at Select being very careful to move all the way around, not going to steer too close to that goal, and there he is moving up. Oh my goodness, those Mutilus are extremely close to finishing. He has 6 Mutilus, 1 Mulus is popping out right now. They're immediately heading up there. They will be able to take out the Medivac if they target fire it, and oh no, the Medivac does fall down, but he did manage to successfully unload 5 of those Marines, so there he's beginning to wail away at the Spine Crawler, and Idra needs to get that critical mass of Mulus up to be able to kill off this Thor, and most importantly, the supporting Marines.
Yeah, the Mutas were a little bit close there to that Thor. You can actually hit the hatchery, and here comes the bunker as Lings run into the main base of Select. There is not a complete wall off. Idra needs to leave that bunker alone and go for the main. Here come the Mutas. He's going to hold position them over the Thor, and there it goes. The Thor is actually focusing down that hatchery as the Mutas are going to kill it, and there goes the Thor dropping down. The Medivac is going to be running away with those 3 Marines, but it is going to fall as well.
Idra has a very clear lead, 70 food to 40 food, still has a whole bunch of Zerglings wailing away at the front of his base. Select trying to stabilize, throwing down a bunker at his front, doing some very nice Medivac micro, but very clearly that one gas steal at the start of the game is having that cascading effect all the way into the later stages.
And one thing you got to remember is that Idra loves getting these flyer attacks. Here's another attack, trying to focus down that Medivac.
And there's the good
GG from Select. Idra taking the first game 1-0 on Lost Temple. We're going to be anxiously awaiting for Select to tell us the next map. Looks like the expansion of Select is being thrown down. This is exactly what we saw last game with that bunker coming down, but Idra was sending Lings at the base of Select last game, and he was able to do so much damage with those Lings. Looks like no Lings are coming. Actually, here they come across the map just like last time.
and this is such a smart play by Idra right when all of a sudden the harass seems about finished by his opponent. Wants to immediately put as much pressure on as he can. In the main of Select, we see absolutely no good anti-air, just Marines without stim at this point in time. Idra is going to have to retreat, but Select is going to be in a very awkward position trying to be able to stay alive against Mutalisk in the later stages of the game, and as you've been pointing out every time, very fast +1. Off the reactor. Oh no, it does manage to get taken out, so Select is going to have to rebuild that reactor, and Idra's going to try to exploit it by just picking it off again and again.
Yeah, Idra being so annoying with those Mutalisks. Looks like the third base for Idra has begun, or has finished there, and a ton of Banelings being morphed in there. They do, of course, have Baneling speed already, and this is pretty much what we always see Idra do. Select is actually moving out with all of those Marines. It's going to be very important that he can get those tanks into siege mode, and here we go!
And there's the stim, he needs to back away. There's a lot of Banelings, he needs to run off creep. There's the siege mode. He doesn't really manage to pick off that many, and the Mutalisks just annihilate everything. Idra is one game away from victory. Select trying to micro. Select has just lost all of his tanks. He just did not siege up at the right time. Idra now just marching forward with all of these Mutalisks. The roach change didn't matter at all for him, just Mutas and Banelings for Idra.
And there's only a handful of Marines about to pop out of those racks right now. So many Mutas in the base of Select. Here comes a couple of Lings just to add some more punishment there. Factory is going to go down, and good game from Select. Idra is your MLG DC winner.
Idra takes the series 2-0, and with that win, he continues to propel himself forward as one of the best players in the world. The final stop on the MLG circuit will be the proving ground for everyone else to see if they have what it takes to compete with the best. MLG Dallas is the final stop on the 2010 MLG circuit and took place in November 5th through the 7th. At this point, 2 IAM events, 2 MLG, 2 GSLs, and a BlizzCon had already taken place. The participation numbers doubled from Raleigh and DC to 128 players battling it out in a double elimination event. The event also helped to push the rivalry between Liquid and EG. Both teams came out in full force with the goal of eliminating as many opposing team members as possible on the way to the finals. Team Liquid's owner Nazgul faced Idra and defeated him 2-1 to knock him into the loser's bracket. At the decider match to determine who would play on day 2, Select got his revenge from MLG DC and eliminated Idra 2-1. EG was able to get some revenge of their own with In Control eliminating Nazgul 2-1. Going into day 2 and the top 16, Team Liquid had 5 members left: Huck, TLO, Rhett, Tyler, and Jinro. EG had 3 members: Inca, Machine, and In Control. Root, still showing up as the North American team to beat on the MLG circuit, had 3 members: Druby, Kiwikaki, and Slush. That left 4 players: Zake, Select, Pain User, and TT1 on various other teams.
You guys actually didn't have to play each other very much until the later rounds, and now it seems like everywhere you look at, you guys have to play against each other. How do you guys feel about that? That's one big side effect of having such a really good team, is that you're forced to play against each other in the later rounds.
Because we're that good. I don't think we care that much. I mean,
when I lose.
Everyone just tries to win, right? It doesn't really matter who your opponent is. If you play your teammate, you just try to win.
Yeah, we don't hold anything back, right?
Yeah.
We're not so close.
Actually, I know.
When the dust has settled on day 2, Liquid stands above the rest with 4 members in the top 8: Jinro, Tyler, TLO, and Rhett. Evil Genius has 1, Machine. Root Gaming has 1, Druby. And TT1 and Pain User round out top 4 on Fnatic and Lazarus Gaming. Jinro continued his domination of the winner's bracket to face TT1 for a second time in the grand final. MLG had an extended series rule that had any player who met before would battle in a best of 7, with the series starting with the results of the previous match. so Jinro went into the series with a 2-1 lead over TT1.
Trying to get an eyeball on this army. We'll see that the probe is sitting here, and no Nexus has been dropped yet. Jinro going to kind of try to move around, but this army will move out to get rid of that SCV. There's also this pylon over here, again, used for spotting and warping in if he would need it, and also a Banshee is out for Jinro. He's going to continue to do this style of harassment play.
I'm very curious to see the way that TT1 is going to move out. If he's going to be expanding, if he's going to be attacking. Jinro's entire style, as indicated by this third barracks, revolves around his opponent expanding pretty early on. And if TT1 delays that expansion, perhaps gets this Colossus out a little earlier, he might be much more, impervious to it. But no, there goes down the Nexus, and the Colossus will be a little bit delayed. But again, one Immortal could be the key.
That pylon was taken out by the Banshee that is now making his way over to the natural expansion. We'll see that Nexus. No, he's going to go right to the back of the base and see if he can do any damage right there. He slips in, peeks, does see the Nexus is warping in, and now making his way to the back. You could see that this Observer is out, and of course he knew that Banshee was coming. That pylon was taken out, so he knew it was eventually going to make his way into the base.
TT1 needs to be very, very careful. He is really walking on thin ice in this game. He's continuing to warp in gateway units 3 at a time, but look at this large Marine Banshee force. He's almost done with Combat Shield. There's the 2 Vikings coming out right now. Needs to kill that off very quickly, and there is the salvage on the bunker. It does look like TT1 is going to be able to scout, and he might even be forced to cancel this Nexus.
He does have Stim already done. Concussor Cells is finishing, and so is Combat Shield. Still a little bit a ways away. The Nexus is, does look like it is going to go ahead and complete. And there you can see the whole army of TT1 in the back, wide open right now.
Oh my goodness, it looks like TT1 is not going to be having his units split in half again, but he is going to be losing this, and it is going to be very hard to keep that Nexus alive. He is going to have to regroup if he wants to be able to win. It looks like there is the huge force moving forward. TT1 is starting to move. Oh no, is only having half his units go down to the bottom of the ramp. The rest are following from behind. SCV is taking a lot of damage, and there's the GG from TT1, the same timing push from Jinro. After a long wait, a fast, very, very well-timed push by Jinro allows him to take the series 4-1, making him the first-place champion.
Yes, and also an international player winning MLG, a big, big accomplishment. Yeah, that's right. And, of course, Team Liquid representing. These guys have been doing one heck of a job. They've been representing over in Korea. They've been, of course, training with OGS, another very high-profile Korean pro gaming team over there. And Jinro does an amazing, amazing job throughout the entire tournament, coming all the way to this point. He was not defeated in this competition.
Yeah, he never lost a single series. We saw him have some very intense series, though. Definitely that game's against Pain User. And we will be coming back after a short break to see the presentation of the check and to say hello to our #1 winner, Liquid
National Champion, Liquid Jinro. How about a round of applause? Jinro, how does it feel to be the first national champion?
It feels absolutely amazing. It's taken me a while to get anywhere. Now I'm here. I'm gonna stay here.
Awesome.
I'm gonna
Awesome.
set up home in this hotel and be here until you get here the next time.
So you are ready to go. Now, we had 128 of some of the best players at this tournament. Countless amount of spectators and crowd being here. Were there any nerves coming into this tournament?
Yeah, sure, there's nerves, but nerves are not always bad. I mean, it's bad when it fucks up your game, but this was just excitement to play. You're nervous, you maybe make some mistakes, but you're also on edge.
Well, let's go ahead and present you with the check for the national champion of StarCraft 2, $6,250 for Liquid Jinro.
Hey everyone, NanMan here. I'm a StarCraft 2 and Magic the Gathering content maker and commentator. Thanks for tuning in and watching, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and check the description for more information about other content that I'm doing. I've also got a new podcast, NanMan's Nerd Corner, which you guys can find out on Spotify or iTunes. It's got a bunch of Magic content as well as other stuff. Thanks for tuning in and watching, and I'll see you guys next game.